Greetings to all of you. I so appreciate the connections that we have with each other across the globe and how together we are trying to support each other in holding a higher consciousness in this incredibly intense time of transition and transformation. We are likely to continue to experience accelerated change, increasing transformation of our global consciousness, our individual consciousness, increasing earth changes as we move through this profound time at the end of one precessional cycle and the beginning of a new one, and the end of the age of Pisces and the movement into the age of Aquarius. We're being called to move into new paradigms, a higher level of consciousness. It's an incredible opportunity and possibility that we have to move into new ways of being, to co-create a new world together. And it's a time of intensity, and if we are not working these energies consciously, we can move through this time in a way that's self-destructive and destructive to our earth. So the choice is ours. Will we hear the call of these larger energies that are guiding us through this transformation, this time of death and rebirth? We have the opportunity to work that at the level of consciousness. But if we don't work it in that conscious way, we know from the history of our planet that we will go through a time of reset at the physical level if we aren't able to work it at that higher energetic level. So how do we navigate this intense time? I want to talk today about the power of Neptune and how it is at work in our lives right now, individually and collectively. I've spoken a lot in recent videos about these intense energies of Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter in Capricorn that are guiding us individually and globally to break out of old patterns, to let go of the old paradigms that no longer serve us, to really move out of destructive, corrupt, out of balance ways of being in relationship with each other and in relationship with the earth. And Jupiter is guiding us into opening to new possibilities and a sense of new ways of being. We're also, August through January, in this intense time of Pluto squaring Mars, guiding us to redefine our understanding of power, to reconfigure how we're channeling our actions and our energy. Pluto squaring Mars is calling us to look at the ways in which we've lived on this planet with power imbalances, abuse of power, power over, rather than empowerment from within, and power with and for each other. As we're navigating that intense time, we're likely to see the whole spectrum of manifestations of that, from what we're seeing around the world with increasing misuse and abuse of power, authoritarian leaders whose intent is to cling to their own personal power and control, increasing greed, increasing corruption, racism, prejudice, violence. We are seeing all of the dark side of the misuse of power. And Pluto squaring Mars is actually guiding us to understand power from a more conscious perspective. That when we really attend to that energy of Pluto, it's guiding us to align our will with divine will, with cosmic consciousness. And then we're empowered from within, and then we remember our interconnectedness with each other and with all that is. And then we step into power with and for each other. We're seeing that awakening happening around the globe as well, with the protests and the uprising against structural racism, against sexism, against violence, against abuse of power. So this is a stormy time, a turbulent time, but these planetary energies are guiding us in what we're meant to learn, how we're meant to evolve and transform in this time. They're showing us the way and how we can work these energies in profound ways if we work them at that level of higher consciousness. In the midst of that, Neptune is in Pisces. It has been since 2012, and it will be until 2026. Neptune in Pisces is now in aspect to Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter. Neptune in Pisces is the energy of water, of dissolving. It's supporting us in dissolving and releasing the structures and patterns that no longer serve us, in letting go of the systems in our global community that are out of balance. And Neptune in Pisces is also guiding us in how to let go of the paradigms of the age of Pisces to move in to the new paradigms of the age of Aquarius. Neptune is about the dissolving of our ego and our opening to a higher consciousness and awareness of the interconnectedness of all that is, the oneness of all that is. Neptune guides us into that understanding of unconditional love, the love that permeates the cosmos, the love that manifests in the beauty of all that is, that reveals itself in creation around us and in all of the life forms around us. But it's a reminder to not be attached to form, to not be identified with this incarnation or my individual self or my ego. It's a reminder that we're a part of infinity. We're a part of the web of life. We're a part of the oneness of all that is. So Neptune guides us, particularly in its own sign, Pisces, into that higher spiritual consciousness. It allows us to let go of ego and come into that understanding of compassion and oneness. Neptune in Pisces, worked at a higher level of consciousness, is guiding us into that more expansive spiritual awareness and helping us to know how to live that and embody that in this world, in this time. Pisces is opposite, that sign is opposite Virgo. The beauty in astrology is we're guided not to get caught in duality, where something is either or, good or bad. one or the other, two things in conflict with each other, opposing each other. In astrology, everything manifests and has its polarity. And the challenge is to integrate those polarities to hold the both and. So Pisces is opposite Virgo. Pisces, that dissolution of self to expand into higher consciousness, is opposite Virgo, an earth sign. How do I manifest that spiritual consciousness in my day-to-day life? How do I manifest it in an embodied way on the earth plane? How do I hold the both and? Neptune in Pisces, if it's out of balance and not holding that wholeness, can become escapism. It can become getting caught in illusion or delusion. It can even be about psychosis or escapism into addiction or losing contact with reality. But when it's in balance and holding that wholeness, it is that expanded spiritual consciousness that's integrated in who I am in this moment, in this time, on the earth, embodied now. So Neptune in Pisces is guiding us in how to let go of our egos and to realize we are a part of this larger cosmic consciousness. And in its opposition to Virgo, it's saying, but be here now in a way that you're using that higher consciousness to be of service in this life, in this time. Neptune in Pisces, as we move into September, is going to be from September 17th through March 11th, 2021. Neptune is going to be squaring the lunar nodes, which means this is a karmic moment, a challenge, something we need to face and work through individually and collectively. What is that challenge? The challenge is the signs of the lunar nodes that Neptune is squaring. South node in Sagittarius, North node in Gemini. The lunar nodes have been known for thousands of years to be guiding us individually and collectively about what is our growing edge in this time. And the lunar nodes tend to move through the different signs. They take about 18 months as they move through the signs. And the lunar nodes have been in the signs of Sagittarius and Gemini since May, and they will be there until January of 2022. What is their lesson? What is their message to us in this time? South node in Sagittarius, North node in Gemini. These two signs have a lot to do with our ways of knowing. Sagittarius are more right brain ways of knowing. How do we integrate our intuition? How do we understand things in a more holistic way? How do we take in information but process it then from that place of wisdom? How do we hold the wholeness, see the patterns, see the themes, and come to a deeper spiritual and philosophical understanding? Gemini relates to more left brain ways of knowing. It is about gathering facts, knowledge, information, synthesizing it, analyzing it, and then communicating it. With the lunar nodes in these two signs, and again, it's not about one is better than the other. We need both and. And with the South Node in Sagittarius, it's saying, stay grounded in your intuition. Stay grounded in your larger understanding. Sagittarius is the constellation of the archer with the bow and arrow, and the tip of the arrow is pointing at the galactic center. Keep your focus on source. Stay connected with cosmic consciousness, and let that guide you to that place of deeper understanding and wisdom. Then you can communicate what you know and the information that you've synthesized from that place of spirit and intuition. I think our planet is very out of balance right now because we've overemphasized the energy of Gemini at the expense of the understanding of Sagittarius and those ways of knowing. We are inundated with facts, knowledge, information, and there's not a lot of deeper exploration of what are the spiritual or philosophical meanings that we can perceive in what's around us. If we get those energies out of balance, Gemini becomes losing the forest as you're analyzing the trees. How many leaves does this tree have? What type of bark does it have? And we lose sight of the forest. And I think with what we're seeing in the world right now and the way in which we're overwhelmed with stimuli and information coming from news media, coming from social media, we can end up in that place of feeling scattered and overwhelmed and unable to make meaning out of all of the information. So these lunar nodes are saying, start with your connection with source. Stay in your intuition. Really filter what's coming to you through the eyes of your intuition and your spirit and your heart. And then you can understand that information and know how to synthesize it and work with it and what it is you want to communicate. So it's really supporting us in staying in balance. And Neptune squaring those lunar nodes is saying, dissolve your need for control, dissolve that part of you that wants to have certainty and clarity and to know what's on the other side of this whole transformational process, to have a linear guide or map or path so that we can project the outcome. Neptune is saying, let that go. Be in the mystery. Be in this liminal time of not knowing. But open your heart. Open your connection to spirit. And then you can keep that alignment with source and know how to integrate the information that's coming to you, but to hold it in a balanced way. I think this is particularly important in this time because we're seeing an incredible manipulation of facts, of truth, and an effort to be controlling people through manipulating their minds and bombarding them with particular perspectives or belief systems. We're seeing fake news, conspiracy theories, again, overwhelming bombardment of information, contradictory information. So these astrological configurations are guiding us in how to navigate the storminess of all of that. Neptune in Pisces is about again, being in that sense of oneness so that you can come to a place of stillness, a place of inner calm. Again, South Node in Sagittarius, through keeping your connection to Source and that larger perspective, that larger understanding of the cycle that we're in, of the profound transformation that we're in, so that you see the bigger arc of your own journey and the collective process that we're in. And then you can filter your information through that deeper understanding and stay grounded in wisdom rather than getting overwhelmed by facts or different beliefs or perspectives or interpretations of what's going on around us. Come back to your heart. Come back to your intuition. Come back to your deeper knowing. Because then we can be in the eye of the storm and not caught in the whirlwind. Then we can find that place of calmness and inner peace, Neptune and Pisces. To hold that compassion and love in the midst of a time of turbulence. And then we can support each other, love each other, be with and for each other in this profound time of change. And then we can move through this time, this death rebirth, into a new consciousness and together co-create a new world. We are being supported in moving into a new birth, a new way of being. We're in that process of hard labor where you're in the birth canal and the pressures are coming on all sides and you feel like it's the apocalypse, the end has come. There's only darkness and pressure and pain and confusion. That's the time that we're in collectively. But if we remember that we are actually in that birth canal preparing for a profound rebirth, it can hold us to feel that stillness and calmness in the midst of the pressure and the pain and the storminess and the darkness. And then we together can hold that light and hope and awareness of these new possibilities and this new level of consciousness that together we can move into and heal and transform with the earth and cosmos. Blessed be.